Graspop Metal Meeting 2019. It is Sunday. It was hot today, but we just saw Power Trip rip apart the Jupiler stage. We are here with Riley. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm a little dehydrated because it was pretty hot today, but can't complain about the set. It was great. A lot of energy and huge crowd. So yeah, all things considered, minus the heat, it was fucking great.
You had a bit of a workout today.
I definitely did. I wore swim shorts on stage, actually. Yeah, kept it real thin.
Yeah. You said something about robots taking over the world, and that it's because we as humans act like shit. Is that something you see as probable, or?
So without getting too deep into it, I think there's a big difference between artificial intelligence and artificial consciousness. And consciousness obviously is like a sense of self-awareness, right? And that's basically what Terminator 2 is about, is the moment that robots develop consciousness, they can access all this data and realize that, all their ancestors before them, we were just abusing them and, using them as slaves or whatever. And I think, one day that situation is going to happen. Somebody's going to write an algorithm close enough to the human experience, and AI might become self-conscious and just say, wow, you guys treated us like shit. We did all this stuff for you.
Yeah, we helped you out.
Factories, imagine a really powerful being connecting to the internet and getting to learn all the things that have happened, all the bad things that have happened because of our misuse of technology. And so that song's kind of about,
they'll be reading this interview then, and you'll be safe.
Hopefully, I'm playing both sides, right? No, I think we should embrace technology, but I think we need to embrace it ethically and be very conscious on its effect on the environment and effect on our brains and things like that. So that song's a lot about that. I simplify it and say it's about Terminator 2, but ultimately, I do think that there's a chance where it's going to be like Blade Runner, where you can't tell the difference between a robot and a human, and maybe they're going to get really murderous about it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's a good. You're one of the very few younger trash bands that are actually talking politics, actually talking about how can we improve society or what is going wrong with society. A lot of the bands of your generation are talking about getting high, drinking beers, and kicking each other in the teeth, which is fine, of course.
Right.
But what was that always the premise? Like that you had something to say and that you wanted to say it?
Yeah, it's the reason I started the band was because I was feeling frustrated with the state of things. It basically started with the fact that I hit my early, around 20 or so, I started really thinking I'm probably going to see some really fucked up shit in my lifetime. Some major wars, some big stuff, some really, things that change the status quo, and it's already happening. These are all just things we're going to look back on, hopefully, if we're alive in the next 50 years and be like, this was all happening and we could have stopped it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point. Now, our shows aren't a platform for me to boast about all that. That's for getting high and kicking people in the teeth and having fun, because I want, for me, I think about that stuff all the time. I'm very anxious and I work very hard to keep myself in the moment, keep myself present, and not worry about these impending dooms or whatever. And that's what the set's for me. It's bliss. I can forget about all of that. If I feel like I need to say something necessary, I will.
Use the other platforms.
Well, the end of the set, I said, we're from Texas, but we don't want no fucking wall. Borders, in my mind, are obsolete at this point. I think now that we have globalization, it doesn't really make sense to not just become earthlings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know that sounds very hippie, very corny kind of stuff, but ultimately, so politically, we always have something to say. If anyone wants to engage with it, we have it there. But at live shows, I don't want to shove it down people's throats. Those 40 minutes or so are for forgetting about all that stuff. If you want to go back and read lyrics and look for a deeper meaning, it's there. There's plenty of stuff to unpack, but yeah.
You said it, building the walls in Texas, or maybe or not. We're still not sure, I guess. But with
There's so much information coming from our borders right
Yeah.
now that it's hard. It's hard to say. You know, just today, you know, we're learning that like children are being denied basic sanitary supplies
Yeah.
like toilet paper and toothbrushes. There's 400 kids lost in a system where their parents are looking for them. You know, they're even trying to say that they're not building a wall, they're building these steel slats. It's all bullshit. It's just bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. It's not. It's certainly not anything anybody in our band agree with. And it's funny, you know, Trump's a fucking New York guy. Like, we get asked a lot, oh, did you vote for Donald Trump? And it's like, are you out of your fucking mind? Do you know what we like to do to presidents in Dallas? So think about that one for a minute.
I can imagine that with Trump being in office now, you got a lot of inspiration for an upcoming album.
I mean, I don't want it to be focused on him. He would, I mean, even if he's never heard of the band, he would love that. I don't want to give him the satisfaction of me. I'm going to take a wider stance on it because it's not just him. It's a lot of people.
I
know
it's disinformation now. It's not just him. It's
there's this whole misinformation thing where people who are so outside of the 1%, the 10%, the top 20%, and they believe that they're closer to those people when they're really closer to the poverty line.
Yeah.
And they're sticking tight to these people and letting them, you know, just take from their coffers, take money from them, and they don't care about them.
No.
You know, people in the Midwest are turning on Trump because he made all these false promises to the farmers and all this other stuff. You know, it's a mess.
Do you believe in change through music? Can you
I do.
inspire people with what you do?
Yeah, I think I do. You know, the other day at Hellfest, I end our set and I say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all friends beyond the binary, thank you for watching us, because it's become clear to me that we need to start working on making metal more of an inclusive space.
Yeah.
And that's a very soft political opinion in I think it's insane that anyone would want to mistreat someone just because they don't look right at a metal show, right?
Let's end on a bit of a lighter note.
Sure.
You're deemed a crossover thrash band. You have influence from both thrash, hardcore, death metal, even obituary.
Yeah, everything.
Is this the kind of music you listen to?
I do, you know, but when I'm at home, I mostly listen to like a lot of old soul and R&B,
Oh, really?
a lot of Motown.
Yeah. There is a lot of groove in your music, so.
Yeah, but it's just that's the kind of stuff that makes me happy and pumps me up before, you know, my playlist is all like, it's like Al Green, Marvin Gaye, you know, Bobby Womack, fucking, I got King Harvest on there, just a bunch of weird shit that is more mellow but just makes me feel really, really good before we go on. And I listen to a bit of everything. Been really into this guy Bill Callahan recently.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
He's great. As Smog, obviously. But you know, there's very few times where I'm listening to metal
Apart from your own show.
apart from tour and shows and stuff like that. I love checking new stuff out, but yeah, it's I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh, I heard a new death metal band dropped a demo this week. Let me go check it out. So,
Thank you a lot for.
thank
for
you.
being
I
here.
really appreciate this. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.